This is the Climate Story Project, where we share real stories about how climate change is shaping our lives. Stories that connect us, stories that move us to act. This is a project of the New York Climate Exchange, a nonprofit organization that's accelerating climate solutions through our unique partnership model and climate campus on Governor's Island. This Climate Week NYC, we invited the public to tell us their climate story. The story you're about to hear is from Brad Einstein, a participant at our Pioneer Works pop-up. Here's what Brad had to say.
For me, climate change impacts have been way closer to home. My mom grew up in Portland, Maine, so we would always make a pilgrimage once every year, come hell or high water, and that was absolutely my introduction to the natural worlds. And then, lucky enough, returning to Maine, after many years I was doing improv in Chicago, and by chance there was at the time a wonderful theater called Improv Acadia, and that was the first time I realized that, oh, I can do both of these things that I love. It was this tiny improv theater that was in Bar Harbor, right by Acadia National Park. So during the day, go hiking, and during the evening, we'd be doing comedy and kind of weaving those threads of my life together. Acadia was absolutely the first time I learned about forest fires and how fire on the land is both necessary but can be devastating if we don't manage it correctly. But for me, I would say I've had too much more intimate moments in my life when it comes to climate change directly affecting my family. I left New York in large part because my apartment flooded 2 times in 2 weeks from 2 separate hurricanes. Hurricane Henri came in for a petit déjeuner, and then Hurricane Ida came swiftly afterwards for a proper kick in the nuts. My apartment was in Lefferts Gardens, Prospect Lefferts Gardens, and kind of at the bottom of the hill that eventually becomes Crown Heights. And yeah, my apartment flooded completely, had black mold. The doors warped so much in portions of the apartment that they couldn't shut. My wife and I did our best to pick up the pieces, and we did pretty well. And then 2 weeks later, it happened again. And our apartment was rotting around us, and the city was taking our landlords to court. I couldn't even tell if it was because of this or for a completely different thing. And at that point we were let's give another city a shot. And then we moved to LA, and we were really close to the Eaton fire just this past January. We were in Highland Park. The Eaton fire happened in Altadena. And my wife was 3 months pregnant. And so we were oh my gosh, we got to get it. We don't trust the water. We don't trust the air. She had a miscarriage. It was just there was so much okay, we got to lock in and do the things that the authorities and the fire brigades are telling us to do, in case we really need to leave. So that was a kit and caboodle. We got water on one side and fire on the other. And it has just been really eye-opening about the realities of a rapidly shifting climate. And sometimes it's so big in a sort of pandemic level thing that you're I need some time to reckon with what the hell that just did to me. I think as millennials, we're just kind of oh, this is just how life is. It's one disaster after another. It's 9/11. It's the recession. It's COVID, and now it's a flood, and now it's a fire. And because of that, I need to keep training myself to not anticipate life being just a series of disasters. But I think it also has made me more resilient, because it's been holy shit, this has been really bad, but we have bounced back, and we have learned what community is, the way that people show up in times of dire straits. There's a level of significance to that you can never know until you are in the middle of it. In the fires, we're so lucky to have community close by that was just hey, we're safe in Silver Lake, come stay with us for a little bit. And some friends in Portland, just stay with us until it rains again. You're scared about the baby, just stay with us until it rains again. and it was cheaper to fly up there than like even get a hotel for that same amount of time. And it has been like a beautiful blossoming and reminding as like we recover from the fire and then we welcome this new life into the world, like being able to create that network of support. We were very lucky we didn't lose the house, but like we had that flexibility. We had the money to be able to fly out. I'm so grateful for that flexibility, but at the same time, as I'm looking at my 11-week-old daughter, there's like a level of stability that I want to be able to create. And what does permanence look like? And I know permanence is a myth, but I got to create something more permanent for this little life that my wife and I have created. There are so many people in climate that are like, I'm not going to have kids. I love my kids too much to have them, or I'm scared about the world I would be bringing them into. And it's terrifying. I also love my wife. And yeah, I like knew it was happening and it seemed like an inevitability. But now that she's here, I'm like, oh my God, yeah. Absolutely everything has changed and you can't be as fatalistic. And I don't want to be like, a baby fixes everything. A baby fixes everything and it makes you go, la, 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 la. It's not that bad. It's absolutely that bad, but it makes you less fatalistic because like you have to find the joy and you have to find the green and growing parts of life. A thing that I talk to or bring up a lot is this quote by Aldo Leopold that it's like to pursue an education in ecology is to serve as a doctor, like living alone in a world of wounds and serving as a doctor within a community that believes itself to be well and does not wish to be told otherwise. And I think we all kind of feel that we're like so overwhelmed by this world of wounds that don't know what to do. But like focusing on one wound and one Band-Aid lets you kind of like really hone in and make a pretty damn good Band-Aid. And then I think in the process, you just meet more people that are making Band-Aids. Sometimes you meet somebody who's like, man, I'm making a whole Band-Aid factory. You want to come help with that? And you're like, yeah, man, I'll help with the Band-Aid factory for a little while. That could be great. And I think just the constant practice of doing helps you not be overwhelmed.
This story is part of the Climate Story Project. To find more stories and learn more about the New York Climate Exchange, visit nyclimateexchange.org and follow us on LinkedIn and Instagram. This episode was produced by Kylie Miller. Thanks for listening.